You're exhausted. Not just tired, exhausted. You wake up tired, you work tired, you come home tired, you scroll through your phone tired, you go to bed tired, and tomorrow you'll wake up tired again. You've tried everything: more coffee, better sleep schedules, vitamins, energy drinks, motivational videos. Nothing works. Or it works for a day, maybe a week, then you're back to running on empty. But what if I told you that the problem isn't that you need more energy? What if the real problem is that you're constantly leaking the energy you already have, like a bucket with 1,000 tiny holes? And there's a 700-year-old Japanese practice that plugs those holes in less than 10 minutes a day. It's called Seijaku, and it means silent power or active silence. It's not meditation, it's not relaxation, it's something much more powerful. And once you understand it, you'll never look at energy the same way again. This is the story of Michael, a 34-year-old entrepreneur who was burning out so badly he could barely function, until he discovered Seijaku, and within 30 days, he had more energy than he'd had in 10 years. Let's dive in. Chapter 1. The Burnout That Wouldn't Stop. Michael was drowning. 3 years into building his startup, he was working 80-hour weeks and feeling like he accomplished nothing. Every morning, he'd wake up 5 a.m. feeling like he'd been hit by a truck. He'd mainline coffee just to feel half human. By noon, he'd crash. By 3 p.m., he'd be staring at his computer screen, reading the same email 5 times without comprehending a single word. His girlfriend had stopped trying to make plans with him. His friends had stopped calling. Even his business partner had pulled him aside and said, "Dude, you look terrible. Are you okay?" Michael wasn't okay, but he didn't know what to do about it. He'd tried everything the productivity gurus recommended. He tracked his sleep with an Oura ring. He took magnesium supplements. He blocked blue light at night. He tried intermittent fasting. Nothing worked. The worst part, he wasn't even working that hard. Sure, he was at his desk for 12 hours a day, but he was only productive for maybe 3 of those hours. The rest was spent in a fog of distraction, anxiety, and mental exhaustion, checking Slack, refreshing email, starting tasks and abandoning them halfway through, context switching hundreds of times a day. One Friday night, Michael hit rock bottom. He was supposed to finish a pitch deck for investors. Instead, he spent 4 hours staring at a blank slide, paralyzed by anxiety and fatigue. At midnight, he gave up. He closed his laptop and just sat there in the dark, feeling like a complete failure. Then he did something unusual. He turned off all the lights, put his phone in another room, and just sat in silence. Not trying to meditate, not trying to relax, just sitting. And after about 20 minutes, something strange happened. His mind stopped racing. The anxiety quieted down, and for the first time in months, he felt something he barely recognized: clarity. The next morning, curious about what had happened, Michael started researching. He typed into Google, "Japanese practice, silence, energy." And that's when he found it, an article about Seijaku, the Zen Buddhist practice of active silence or silent power. Chapter 2. The Secret the Zen Masters Knew. Seijaku comes from the Zen tradition, but it's not what most people think of as meditation. It's not about emptying your mind or achieving some transcendent state. It's about discovering the power that exists in stillness, the energy that's always there underneath all the noise. The Zen masters understood something that modern science is only now confirming. Your brain is constantly burning energy, not just when you're working, all the time. Every notification, every context switch, every anxious thought, every decision, every distraction. Each one drains your mental energy reserves like a leaky faucet drains water. They called this mental noise monkey mind, your thoughts jumping from branch to branch, never settling, never at rest, burning massive amounts of energy for zero productive output. But Seijaku was different. It wasn't about stopping the monkey mind through force. It was about discovering the stillness that exists beneath the noise, the silent power that's always there when you stop creating chaos. Michael read about how Zen monks would practice Seijaku before important tasks. Warriors would practice it before battle. Tea masters would practice it before ceremonies, not to relax, to access their full energy and attention. The practice had 3 core elements that worked together like a system. Chapter 3: The 3 Gates of Silent Power. First gate, Kanso, radical simplification. The first element of Seijaku is Kanso, which means simplicity or elimination of clutter. But this isn't about minimalist aesthetics. This is about ruthlessly eliminating everything that fragments your attention and drains your energy. The Zen masters understood that complexity is exhausting. Every choice you have to make, every option you have to consider, every decision you have to weigh burns mental energy. So they simplified everything. One bowl, one cup, one practice, one focus. Modern neuroscience backs this up completely. Decision fatigue is real. Research shows that every decision you make, no matter how small, depletes your mental energy reserves. Should I check email now or later? Should I respond to this text? Should I open this tab? Thousands of micro decisions every day, each one draining you. The Zen approach was radical. Eliminate unnecessary choices, create systems, automate decisions, clear the clutter from your environment and your mind, not because it looks nice, because it preserves your energy for what actually matters. Michael learned that the average person switches between apps and websites over 300 times per day. Every switch costs energy, every notification pulls attention, every open tab creates mental drag. Your brain is trying to track it all simultaneously, burning energy just to maintain awareness of everything you're ignoring. Second gate, Mokurai, the silent thunder. The second element is Mokurai, which literally translates to silent thunder. It's the paradox at the heart of Seijaku. True power doesn't announce itself. It doesn't need to. Like thunder that you feel in your chest before you hear it, silent power moves through you with complete certainty. This is where Seijaku differs from meditation. Meditation often focuses on relaxation, on calming down, on reducing arousal. Seijaku is about accessing deep energy while remaining completely still. It's active stillness, alert silence. The practice is deceptively simple. You sit in silence, but you're not trying to empty your mind. You're not trying to achieve anything. You're simply resting in alert awareness, present, awake, still, like a cat watching a mouse, completely relaxed yet completely ready. The Zen masters would spend hours in this state, not because they were trying to achieve enlightenment, because this is where your deepest energy reserves live. Beneath the constant doing, beneath the endless mental chatter, there's a wellspring of energy that most people never access because they never stop moving long enough to find it. Neuroscientist Dr. James Austin studied Zen practitioners and found something remarkable. During Seijaku practice, brain scans showed increased activity in the prefrontal cortex while simultaneously showing decreased activity in the default mode network, the brain region responsible for mind wandering and rumination. In other words, they were more alert and more present while using less energy. The opposite of what Michael had been doing, less alert and less present while burning maximum energy. Chapter 4: Michael's 30-Day Transformation. Michael decided to try Seijaku for 30 days. He created a simple protocol based on what he'd learned. Morning protocol, the foundation. Every morning, before touching his phone, before checking email, before coffee, Michael sat in Seijaku for 10 minutes. He sat on the floor, back straight, hands resting on his knees, not trying to meditate, not trying to clear his mind, just sitting in alert stillness. The first few days were brutal. His mind screamed at him, "You're wasting time! You have emails to check! You're falling behind! This is stupid!" But Michael stayed, and gradually something shifted. By day 5, he noticed something strange. The 10 minutes of Seijaku actually saved him time. Because when he started work, he started with clarity instead of chaos. He knew what to do first. He moved through tasks with focus instead of fragmenting into a dozen directions.
Work protocol, the container. Michael implemented Kanso ruthlessly. He closed every tab except the one he was working on. He put his phone in another room. He turned off all notifications, email, Slack, everything. He'd check them at specific times, but not constantly. The first day felt like withdrawal. The urge to check messages was almost physical, but Michael stuck with it. And by week 2, something remarkable happened. His productivity didn't just improve slightly, it multiplied. Tasks that used to take 3 hours now took 45 minutes. Why? Because he was actually doing them instead of pretending to do them while also checking messages, browsing tabs, and maintaining awareness of 17 different things.